What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Brighton 1, Tottenham 0. Another damaging defeat to Tottenham Hotspur today at the Amex. I mean, yes, I thought against Liverpool we looked bereft of ideas. We looked lost on that pitch. No passion, no desire. We showed that for 90 minutes on the pitch today, and it looks as though we've kind of left off where we carried off of that Liverpool game, and it's really hard to watch. That 90 minutes was absolutely dreadful. It was dreadful from every single player on that pitch. No movement at all, no desire, no passion, no will to win, no will to score. I mean, we had one or two shots on target the whole game towards the end of the game, and that was it. I mean, it's just shocking. It's shocking what's going on that pitch.
We're officially in crisis mode. You can't get away from that, because after the Liverpool game, you're thinking, can we show a reaction? Harry Kane being out, we want to see a response to that and saying, okay, Harry Kane's out, but we have the players to cope with it. We can still score goals. We can still look good going forward, even without Harry Kane. We've shown it before. But we looked, there was no aggression, there was no desire in that team, especially in the first half. Second half, like a 1% improvement on the first half. But even that, as he was saying that, we were still absolutely shocking. We pretty much had one good chance the whole game. That was Vinicius forcing a save out of Sanchez. Apart from that, we had absolutely nothing, absolute zero going forward. We were in absolute shambles. We were in absolute shambles against a Brighton side who haven't won a home game all season. This was the worst response possible to the game on Thursday. And with Ndombele also now limping off. If he's out, when Kane out and Reguilon out, I mean, our season is already halfway to imploding, and it could go all the way to imploding within a week, because these games come so thick and fast. And we knew that we had to have a good feeling after today, because Thursday was so terrible, especially in the second half. It went so wrong for us that we needed to respond quickly, and this was just the worst response. Absolute worst response. It's gonna. I can really feel. I just feel something in the air that is festering in the squad. You can feel it. You can feel it in the squad. You can feel it in the way we play. There's just some moments where we're 1-0 down, and people like Sissoko and Davis, they've got the ball. They've got space to run to, but they're just standing. They're standing, waiting for a run forward. They're just standing there and then hoofing it long, and it's just awful. It's terrible. The only time we showed any sort of urgency was in the last 15 minutes, when we looked like maybe something could happen, but that was way too late. Why are we doing that? Even then, we didn't even really look like scoring, did we? The only time was Vinicius with the shot. Vinicius came on the whole second half. We didn't whip in the ball once. We put in 0 crosses pretty much the whole second half. Any cross we did put in was not good quality. Brighton, the scoreline flattered us, because Brighton really should have been 2-0 at least. Morpah had that header from the 6-yard box which missed, and they had that open goal which Toby somehow miraculously cleared off the line. That should have been 2-0, and any 99 times out of 100 that's 2-0. So any other day Brighton could have been 2 or 3 up in this game. We were very lucky to still be in at 1-0, but we didn't show anything in this game, and this is the first time this season I'm looked at it, I'm thinking, I'm very worried about this season now. All of a sudden I'm thinking, we are imploding. We are imploding. I was. Look at our last 10 games. We've won 2 games. I know, but we have won 2 games. But this is the first time that I've really been worried by what I've seen. Really been worried. I mean, it got to that point last time when we lost at the Amex last time, 3-0 under Pochettino. That's when you just started to realise, saying, is Pochettino coming to the end here? I mean, I'm not saying anything like Mourinho's coming to the end, but there's something festering in this squad, like you say, and it always takes for a result like this to the fans to kind of realise it. But when you look at going into the season, Chelsea next, then West Brom, then Everton in the Cup, then Man City, then our Europa League games with West Ham in the middle of it. And you know what? Harry Kane, Reguilon, Ndombele potentially out. Where do you see us picking up points? Lo Celso's still out. Where do you see us picking up points? West Brom, maybe. It's slim pickings right now. At the moment, it's awful. And you know what's worrying as well? That Reguilon's out 3 weeks. And Davis has already been overworked. He was so bad today. He looked so tired. He looked off his game. He really did not look sharp at all today. Yeah. And he's going to have to play every game for the next 3 weeks. And because we have so many games, it really is a situation where we don't want to be in. We have 2 right backs not in the squad. We're playing Sissoko right wing back. who actually probably wasn't even the worst player on the pitch. But, that didn't particularly work. We had to change it at half time because we were being completely overrun in midfield with that three at the back. It didn't work at all.
I don't think Jose got it right today.
Sanchez got hauled off, and he, again, not a great display. Toby actually looked worse in the back three than he did in the back two. He actually improved in the second half, Toby, interestingly enough. Him and Roden were much better.
What did you make out of Roden today?
Not great.
Yeah, he wasn't that good today.
Not great, Roden. There was a few times he was players bursting past him and doing things, and I wasn't that happy. He wasn't the biggest culprit, but he didn't encourage me that much today.
Who do you think starts centre back next game?
Feel like could be any
Toby and Dier.
It's like we've tried everything, haven't we? And this is why he wanted a centre back so much. He's chopping and changing because he's trying different things and nothing's worked. So is it back to the whole Toby Dier? It must be.
I mean, Jose did get it wrong today.
Maybe Toby Roden, because they look better as a partnership at the back in a 2 than they did in a 3 with Sanchez there. Sanchez didn't work for me at all. I thought him in possession.
Nothing is working anymore. There is no awful fight. There's no spirit. There's no passion in that squad. And I don't know where to turn, to be honest.
And actually, Bale went off, but Bale he wasn't good, but he was probably better than Bergwijn.
Yeah.
And it was probably better than
Son.
Yeah, so he went off on the hour, but he wasn't even the worst one. And whether he got on the commentator said he might have got a little knock or something. I don't know if that we'll have to wait and see. Of course he did. So maybe that contributes. But I actually didn't think Bale was, out of anyone, probably looked the sharpest of the attackers. But he wasn't good, and it was a really poor. And Ndombele, I felt, had a few moments, but he was, again, because he was in that pivot, especially in the first half, he was overworked, and he always had 2 or 3 men on him whenever he got the ball. It was very, very difficult for him to assert his stamp as authority on the game, which he likes to do. Basuma, I thought, really had him in his pocket for most of the game. The worrying thing is how good we made Brighton look. We made Brighton look so good. Like you look at that Brighton team, wondering how are they near the bottom of the table, where we do say they're in a false position because they do play well. But
in that first half, they completely overran us for the whole 45 minutes. But
even
they looked like the team that were going for Champions League, not us. Even in the second half, it was just to a bit of a lesser extent.
In the second half, they didn't overrun us as much, but they created all the better chances. Yeah. That's the thing, and they could have easily got 2 or 3 goals in that second half, despite Spurs having a bit more of a stamp on the game. But but the problem is, the players we rely on, Højbjerg, Son, now Davis because Reguilon's out, Ndombele, they're just getting so overworked. You can feel them being overworked. You can feel it, and then you can't rest them. You just can't.
The problem is you don't know what you can do to change it to make it better now. What can you do to change it to make it better?
That's the most worrying thing.
There's no options. There's really no options, especially with players like Harry Kane injured, Reguilon injured. That means Davis has to keep playing and keep playing. With the right-back situation, we got Matt Doherty who doesn't seem to be working out. Serge Aurier, God knows what's happening with him now. You know what I mean? It's like Ndombele, if he goes out injured, we are completely screwed. Completely screwed. We won't be able to score a goal if Ndombele
we can score a goal with Ndombele today.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's really worrying. It's really worrying the performance I've seen, because this, even beforehand in games, against Fulham when we've drawn and it's been really frustrating, but
we deserve to win. We had the chances to win.
We missed chances in those games, and there's been other games where we've had the game upon of our hands and we've let it slip, and that's been really frustrating. The problem is now we're not having games we're not in control of anything. We're not in control of a thing. We're letting teams dictate us completely for 90 minutes.
No matter what the team.
And they're creating chances. We can't stop and create chances. We're not creating anything going forward. And all of a sudden, it's gone from seeing why we're dropping points to now we're completely fucked. Now we're really screwed. And I'm really worried. I'm really worried from where this is going now, because the injuries are mounting up. The problem was when we were at full strength, we had games to the palm of hand, yet we were chucking them away. And now we're not. Now we don't have the luxury of being at full strength. And now we're going to have to make do with what we have and try and grind out points with a depleted team. And it's very, very difficult to do that. We saw how we suffered last year when we had a depleted team, and we find it really hard to pick up points. And I'm really worried now that the same is going to happen. I'm really worried.
Before we were dropping points, Not deservedly so, but now we're dropping points, and quite rightly so, because we're just not good enough. But look,
I don't know how Jose changes it, because he's using all the players that he needs to use. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's difficult.
It's hard to know where to turn from here. But look, we have lost 1-0 at the Amex. We go on. Our next game is Chelsea at home on Thursday night.
If we win that, then
God knows. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.